With the help of Hashem, we are learning Brachas Daf Nun Vav. We are in the heart of the sugya of dreams. We are now focusing on the fact that people dream about that which one thought about during the day. So we'll be learning about a concept that one has the power to plant a dream in someone else's mind by giving you a certain thought. We're going to be learning of a story known as the story of Bar Hedya, which is a lengthy story that has a very tragic part to it, but also just backing up another statement that we began the sugya with, is that the dream will follow the way it is interpreted, and two people can have mamish the same dream, and its realization for one versus the other will depend on the dream interpreter. We're going to be learning also about the concept that a klala coming from a klala coming from a great man, even if there's really no reason why they should have done it, will always become fulfilled. And we're going to be learning about a lot of symbolisms of dream. You know, the river, the bird, the kettle. We're going to be learning about the meaning of a grape and a shofar and a dog and a lion and an act of shaving and a well and a reed and an ox. And 5 details about dreaming about an ox. And then we're going to have a concept that if you see Pinchas in your dream, how great that is. And how would you know that it's Pinchas? You have a good kasha. If you see an elephant in your dream, if you see elephants in your dream, it's the best thing. Pila Palois, Nasoloi, and many other insightful understandings into Chaloimois. And we're going to start Daf Nun Vav Amud Aleph all the way on top of the Amud. So we left off on Daf Nun Hey Amud Beis, that as the way we touched it is that people only dream about that which they thought about. And even if the dream is coming from out there, but the malach is going to be using images that I already have in my head as the means of communicating something to me. So if I never created those images in my head, either by creating it or by seeing it or by thinking about it, then that image will never be used. Oh, so now on that, Amalei case Rabbi Shua ben Hanania. When was the last time we learned about this interaction? We learned about this in B'chayres Daf Ches Amud Beis. That's the whole Savei Da'atuna. So Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, the Tana, interacted with a certain Roman Caesar, and this is another conversation that they had. Now at this time, the Persians and the Romans were adversaries, or they were mamash at war. Adversaries, they were enemies or adversaries. So the Kesar tells Rabbi Yeshua, Amritu, the Jewish people say about you that dechachmitu tuva, that you're great chacham. Right? There's chachma and there's bina. Chachma particularly means that you have intuition, that you know that which no one knows. Emoli, my chazina b'chalmoi. If you are taka, the big Jewish chacham, what will I dream about tonight? So at the end of last year, we learned about Nebuchadnezzar, who already had a dream, and he told Daniel, I want you to tell me what I already dreamt about, and tell me the interpretation. At least he already had it. Here, he asked Rabbi Yeshua, tell me what I'll dream about. Amalei tells him that Chazis, you will see the Meshacharei Loch Parsoi, that the Persians will press you into the service of their king. That means you'll be captured. You'll be subscribed to be subservient to the Persian king or Caesar. And v'garbi bach, they're going to chop you. V'royei bach, and they're going to force you to pasture shiksei, animals that are considered disgusting. And this refers to chazerim, but you will pasture it bekutra de dahava. You're going to be holding a golden staff. In other words, that you will still be the king, and they're going to force you as a king with your golden staff to become a shepherd over chazerim. So there, he told him something so absurd that he did kula yoyma, that the Kesar thought about this the whole day, and you know what happened? Ulu urta, that's exactly what he dreamt about. In other words, we have the koyach to plant a dream. Amalei shavur malka l'shmol, shavur malka. Now this is already in the times of the Amoraim, but this is also at a time that Persia, Shvar Malka was then the leader in Persia, they were adversaries of the Romans. So Amrito, again, he tells Shmuel that they say about you, the Jews say about you, that the Chachmitu Tuva, that you're very wise. Eimoli, my chazina machalma, you tell me what will I see in my dream tonight? So Amalei, Shmuel tells him, Chazisa, you will see the Asura Moy, that the Romans will come. You speak about the fears of a person. Nishtam. And v'shavalach, they're going to take you captive. And v'tachana bach kashiyasa, they're going to force you to grind date pits. Berachot, the dahava, but with a golden mill. So again, Hidur Kula Yomi, that's what he thought about the whole day, Ula Urta, and that's exactly what he dreamt. Okay, so this Pshat again means that your dreams don't have that much meaning. They're simply projections of that which you thought about during the day. I mentioned in the last year the Marsha. It's a very important Marsha in Chedushei Agados. So the Marsha, not here, but on the last Amud, he makes, I'm going to read at least some of it. This is very important. Ulefi shahachaloimos yesh mehem milmayla alidei malach. There are dreams that come through an angel. And vuhu chaloim amiti. It's an emes dream. And some understand that even though we had in the last daf that there is Tevin and Bada, that every dream has something that is a falsehood. If a dream is coming from a malach, or if a dream is coming even from a higher level, then there'll be no falsehood. From the higher level, the more truth it will be. Right, like the dreams of the Kesar and Shlomalka. And says the Marsha, these are the dreams that come into your head. Now we're going back to the beginning of Brachos. In the first Mishmar, remember the first Mishmar? Machlokes, whether the night has 3 Mishmaros or 4 Mishmaros, but the dreams that you have earlier on, those are the dreams that still what's going on in your stomach or in your mind is coming out. And the later on you get in the night, that was the Rabbi Yechanan we learned in the last year, that the chalemis that you have in the shachris, they are the most truthful. So that's a great tip. So there's from your thoughts, from the shade, from a malach, it has to do, here, one tip, when did you have the dream, in what part of the night? Accordingly, you'll understand where it's coming from. L'chora, that means that if a person had a dream right before they woke up, don't think that that dream is about what you thought about yesterday. No, these are already dreams that are coming from the outside. We have to know whether it's coming through a shade or through a malach. And even on these dreams, there's a koyach in interpretation. There's a koyach in interpretation. Because still, whatever you are seeing is something only in potential, and we have the power to bring that power in a positive way into the world, as we'll start now a lengthy story with a big message, and this is known as the story of Bar Hedya. Okay, so let's start. Bar Hedya, that's the name of a person. Mefasher Chel Mehava, he was a dream interpreter. And this is how he behaved. Whoever paid him, he gave him a good interpretation. Whoever did not pay him, he gave a negative interpretation. Abaya and Rava, we just learned about them above, the Talmidim of Rabba. And again, we quoted that Rava, this is Moed Katan Chav Ches. He speaks about what he davened for and God granted him. From the 3 things that he was granted, he got the wealth. He was wealthy like Rav Chizda, who we'll learn was also his father-in-law. But he was very wealthy. And Abaya, who was an orphan, was l'chayra not wealthy. And look, interestingly, one's wealth doesn't determine on one's spending habits. You can have people that are not wealthy and they spend more, and maybe that's even the norm. And the wealthy people, they spend less. That's why they're wealthy. But okay, so here, Abaya and Rava, they had many times the same dream. And not only that, we'll see later, sometimes they came to Bar Hedya separately. But many times they came to him together and they shared with him their dream at the same time. They told him, we saw. But Bar Hedya would never interpret it to people in a group. There was no group therapy. He heard from the group, and then he had as Ayachidis, and he told each one privately. And says the Gemara, Abaye, Yavle Zuz, Abaye would pay him a zuz for every time he would interpret. And Rava, in the beginning, Lo Yavle, for a long time, Rava never paid him. And now let's start. Amri Lei, they told him, Akrinon Becholmen, what did we learn yesterday, in the last year, in the previous year, that waking up in the morning with a pasuk on your tongue is the greatest dream. And many times, these are for big tzaddikim, they dream about Torah, they wake up with a pasuk. So they says that both of us were read in our dream, and now we're reading various psukim in Parshas Kisavai. And these psukim, interestingly, this pasuk that Sharcha Tevuach Leinecha, this pasuk, if you read this pasuk backwards, that's the famous pasuk. If you read it backwards, it's Mamash Bracha. But if you read it straight, so your ox will be slaughtered in front of your eyes. So Lerava, who was the one that didn't pay him, he told him that the meaning of your ox will be slaughtered in front of you, that pasik iskach, that your business will fail, and you'll become so saddened, you won't be in the mood to eat. That's pshat, that your ox will be slaughtered in front of your eyes. It will be taken away from you. You'll lose all your money and you lose your appetite. To Abaya, who paid him, he was told privately by Bar Hedya, the opposite, that marvach iskach. What does it mean? Your ox will be slaughtered in front of you. You're going to have such success, you'll be so filled with joy. You just made a $30 million deal. From excitement, you won't be in the mood of eating. Such joy, you won't even care about eating. Noch a dream. Amrile, they Abayin Rava told Bar Hedya Akrinan, we were read a pasuk in our dream, invited over there in Kisavai, Banim Ubanais toilet, that will give birth to sons and daughters. But the pasuk there continues, the Gemara doesn't spell it out, but Vigoymen Valiyolach Ki Yelchu Bashevi. So Rava, he told him that Kivishu say, literally it's a negative dream, that you'll have children, but they're going to be taken away from you. And indeed, Rahman al-Islan, Rava lost children, B'chayav. La'abaya amalei, no, B'nach u'b'nasach, Nefish, you'll have many sons and daughters. And u'minasvan b'nasach, you'll marry off all of your daughters. La'alma, they're going to be married off to out there, they're going to go to live with their husbands, u'medamyan ba'apach, and it will appear to you, kidaka azlam b'shivya, as if they were taken in captivity. But that's a good thing, your kids, you'll marry off your kids. Now some parents feel, if my kids don't live with me, Oy Gewalt, it's really a bracha. It's a bracha for the kids. Akriyan, they heard another pasuk, your sons and daughters will be given to another nation, to another people. So Abaya Amalei, so to Abaya, Bar Hedya says that you'll have a lot of sons and a lot of daughters. And when they're going to come to do the shidduchim, keminik tzadikim, you marry family. But there'll be an interesting dispute between you and your wife. That at amrat, you will tell your wife, likrei vach, I want our children to marry my relatives. Vihi, the wife will say, likrei vach, I want our children to marry, the mother will say, my relatives. And va'achbach lach, and she will coerce you, and you'll have to give in to her, v'yahavit lohain likrei vach. And that's the meaning, that you will consider as if they were given over to a foreign people, to your wife's family. But to Rava, he says, bottom line is, it's a bracha. You'll have sons, you'll have daughters, you'll get married. These are good challenges, right? Who should they marry? This is a good shidduch, and that's a good shidduch. Which better shidduch? But Rava, he tells him, Devisu, your wife, Shchiva, will pass away. And, God forbid, and he will remarry. And a stepmother, generally, are so bad for stepchildren that they feel like they are in captivity. And your sons and daughters will be given over to the hands of your new wife, their stepmother, and therefore they will experience captivity. The first widest line is that this is about a new wife, right, who becomes a stepmother to her husband's children. Another dream. Akrim Bechelmen. To us it was read in our dream. This is psukim that we say after Yom Kippur. Leich echol besimcha lachmecha. Go eat with joy your bread. So Abaya, again, Abaya was the one that paid him. Amarle, marvach ischach, that you'll have a tremendous business. And therefore, v'achalta v'shasis. And you're going to eat and you're going to drink. And therefore, when you're eating, you're going to say, wow, by me this pasuk was fulfilled. But l'rava amarle, the opposite, pasuk iskach, that you will lose your business. And tavachta, you'll shecht food, but you're not going to be in the mood v'lo the shasis, no, you're not going to be in the mood to eat. And in your depression, you're going to try to get out of it. So as a lachash, you're going to say, the karis, you're going to read this pasuk, lefakuchei pachtach, to get rid of your anxiety. You're going to try to use this pasuk to put yourself in a good mood, but you're going to be in a terrible position. Another dream. Akrinon, both of us had the following pasuk read to us. Zeraraf tveitzi asodim. Right, it begins good. How does the pasuk continue? Gabay uma'at te'esoiv. Right, that's the end. A lot will come forth, but only a little you'll gather. Because of the locust, ki yachsileno ha'arbe. So Abaya amar le'meresha. He tells Abaya, listen, we had it in last daf that every pasuk has teven and bar. So the teven is the sefer, but the real dream is the beginning. That is zerarav. And l'rava, he read him, God, for you ma'at te'esoiv, etc. Another dream. Akreinon zeisin yiolach b'chol givolecha. But then the pasuk continues, but v'shemen lo yisasuch. Right? Ki yishal zeisecha, because the olives will fall off the tree premature. So again, la abaya amalei meresha, la rava amalei meseif. Akrinon, they had another dream. V'ro kol amei haaretz. Right? Yishem Hashem nikra olecha v'yaru mimekka v'goymer la abaya amalei nafak lachshma dereish mesifta haves. That it will become known, you will be appointed to be the Rosh Yeshiva. And now that you have such a lofty position, a masach naflas ba'alma, everyone will have a yira from you. L'Rava Amar, you know what's going to happen? B'deina de malka itman, that the treasury of the king will be broken into. So there will be a theft. And umispas biganovi, they're going to wrongfully seize you, arrest you, accusing you to be the ganef. And when that happens, everyone is going to make for themselves the following kal v'chomer. That what? That if Rava, who's innocent, was caught by the king and he's going to be punished for that which he's innocent for, all of us will have fear of the king. So imagine how he read negatively the pasuk. So everyone will see how God's name is, and they'll be afraid of you. They'll be afraid from that which happened to you. If that innocent person is caught, then we're all in trouble. Then the king has the power to do whatever he wants. Oy gewalt.
Didn't we say that if someone wakes up in the morning, first thing's a pasuk, it will be a positive dream?
We said that pasuk is a real dream. But what happens if the pasuk is not a good pasuk? We didn't speak about that in the last half. And here we're seeing that even these psukim, if they are properly interpreted, they also can become good. L'machar, and taka, the next day, itbar b'dayana de malka, that the treasury of the king was broken into. The Rava was arrested. Here you have again a Maisa in the Gemara of a tzaddik that went to jail when he was innocent. Amri lei nachadrim. Again, Abaya and Rava both tell Bar Hedya. Chazon, we saw Re'iyah. Chasa, we saw lettuce. That's alpum dane, that is sitting in the mouth of a barrel. So Abaya, he tells, lettuce has many leaves. It's bigger than what it looks like. They're folded over. There's a lot of creases. In other words, it means if iskach, your business will double more than you think. Like lettuce, kechasa. L'Rava Amar lei, marer iskach kechasa. Your business will be as bitter as lettuce. Amar lei, another dream. Chazan, we saw bisral pumdana. We saw meat on top of a barrel. L'Abaye tells him, you get the whole theme over here. That basim chamrach, that your wine will be so aromatic that everyone is going to come to buy your wine lemizman, both your meat and the wine from you. L'Rava, he tells him that your wine will be so bad that the only way people will be able to drink your wine is if they have meat with it. Right? It's like gefilte fish sometimes. You can only eat it mit chrein. If not, you can't eat it. Takiv, chamrach, this is wine. That all people will have to buy meat to eat it with your wine. Another dream, they told him, Chazan, we saw chavisa, we saw a barrel, the tali b'dikla, that was hanging from a palm tree. What an image. L'Abaya amalei midalei iskach kedikla. Your merchandise will go up to the heights like a tall palm tree. L'Ravi tells him chali iskach ketamri, that your wine will be as sweet as dates. And whoever understands wine understands that, you know what a good wine is? A dry wine. Sweet wine is the inferior wine. Not like many of our parents thought, or in Brazil, when we grew up, the only wine was sweet wine. There was more sugar than wine. That was a bad dream. Amrillah, another dream, Chazan, we saw Rumana, we saw a rimoin, a pomegranate, the katchi, apum dane, that was sprouting out of the mouth of a barrel. So Tabai, he tells him, Ashik iskaki Rumana, that your business will expand like a pomegranate, so many seeds. L'Rava Amar, kave, in the Gemara, kave iskaki Rumana. Kave means bitter. That's why we put a lot of sugar to the coffee. But anyways, that it will be bitter because a pomegranate is bitter, especially not the seeds, especially everything else. Amalei Chazan, we saw chavisa d'nafal lebira, we saw a keg falling into a pit. Tabayi tells him mispe yiskach, that everyone is going to look for your merchandise and you're going to be so sold out, no one can find it. And this is an expression. Kida amar nafal pita bebira v'loy ishtakach. My bread fell into the pit and I can't even find it. This is a lashon that people use when you have a product that's so hot. Right? Here you say it flies off the shelf. There the lashon was that you can't get it. It fell into the pit. But to Rava he tells him pasik iskach, that your business will be ruined. And v'shad yelei lebiram, when you buy the wrong product. You get from the China the wrong container. Or everyone that's already out of the style. Nothing you can do with it. The only thing you can do with your merchandise is throw it into the pit. Amrilei Chazina Bar Chamra, I saw a donkey, the Koi Iston, that is standing around our heads. V'noyer, we both dreamt that a donkey will be braying around our heads. Labayir Amalei, Malka Havis, you'll become a king, like we learned before he became the head of the academy. Man Malka Drabanan. And you'll be such a great teacher that you won't speak to the people. You'll have an Amoira. It's interesting that we're calling an Amoira a donkey. In other words, the guy with a loud voice that's going to speak over what you're saying. V'koi Amoira Allah. And that's the pshat, that there'll be a donkey around your head. To Rava he says, no, that in your tefillin, in the portion, we have the words Peter Chamoir. Now Peter Chamoir, Rashi is on both sides of the Amid, really here should be written without a vav. In Rava's tefillin, the Sofer erroneously began to write it with a vav. That means when he began the letter, his kavanah was to write it with a vav. And that vav was missing. Peter Chamoir gohit mitfilach. The Chamoir, the vav is missing from your tefillin. Amalei, so Rava tells Barhedia, Lededi Chazali, no, I looked at my tefillin, and V'isei, and the vav is, and my tefillin is good. So Amalei, Barhedia tells him, vav the Peter Chamoir, vadei gohit mitfilach. Here it is. That what was missing is the vav. The way Rashi explains is that when you would look at Rava's tefillin, you never would have known it's possible. Because after the mem, you're supposed to write the reish. The Sofer began to write the letter Vav, then the Sofer remembered, oh no, there's no Vav here. So he transformed the Vav into a Reish. But since he began to write the letter, Bekavana, another letter, it's not kosher, and no one would have known it. And the Marsha says, from all of the stories that we're learning, everything was about the future. That's the whole sugya of dreams. Whether the future will be as negative as it looks like, or whether it's fakert, it's a positive future. Here, the dream was about the past. According to the way we're learning Pshat here in Rashi, and this is interesting, so he dreamt about something that already happened. Or we can say it's also about the future, because not wearing kosher tefillin is about the future. Whatever happened, happened.
Why didn't rulers start paying money?
That's a big kasha, especially since you see all these stories that they came together. So what they never shared with the Ritva says it must be that it was a private thing. And he did not interpret it to them together, and the one who heard something so good was afraid that the other one didn't hear something so good, not to have kina, he didn't share it. The one that heard bad was afraid to share with what he heard with the other. So for a long time went on, and they're getting the same dream, and no one is sharing the information. Here, clear. Then at a certain point, Rava began to go to him separately. Amalei, and Rava tells Barhedia, Chazoi, Dasha, Barayasa, I saw the outer wall of my house, the nafal that fell. Amalei tells him, Ishtachash Chava, your wife will pass away. The wife is the Akeres Abayis. Now, Rava married Rab Chizda's daughter. Amalei, another dream. Chazis, I saw, Kachei, my molars, Vishanei, and my front teeth, the natra, they fell out. Amalei, yeah, Benachu Benasach. Right, is the molars are the sons, the front teeth are the daughters, or the opposite. They're going to pass away. Oi, Amalei Chazoi Tartayoin. I saw two doves, the parchan, that are flying away. Amalei Trei Nashe Migash, that you'll divorce 2 wives in your lifetime. Amalei Chazoi Trei Gar Gilidei, the lift, I saw 2 turnip heads. Amalei Trein Kuflei Volata, you're going to swallow 2 blows, because a turnip is like a stick. It's a stick made to zet someone else with a ball on the top. And indeed, Azal Rava Yosef Midrash Kol Yoma. Rava that day sat the whole day in the Beis Medrash. First of all, you see clearly he was a businessman. But when he heard that he's going to get a clap on his head, he felt that he'll be safe in the Beis Medrash. That means in the Beis Medrash, no one gets physical. So Taka, he was safe in the Beis Medrash. But Ashka Chanu today, Sagi Nohira, as he's going or coming, he saw 2 blind people. The 2 blind people were fighting. And as a good Jew, you get involved. You have to help them. He went to separate 2 people that are brawling together. And they're trying to hit each other. And they're blind, they don't see Rava. So both of them, Nabach, they both hit Rava. They hit him twice, they gave him 2 blows. They picked up their sticks to hit each other again. So Rava says, that mistaye train chazoi. It's enough. I only saw two turnips. Oh, when they heard that, you only had 2 turnips, they're not going to hit you again. And that's it. At a certain point, Rava came, and he began to pay about Hedya. Amalei, he tells him, I saw Ashita, the Nafal, I saw that a wall fell down. A wall fell down. Amalei, Nechasim, Belimit Sodom Kanisa, you're going to have limitless business. No more boundaries. Amalei Chazoya Panda the Abai Nafal. I dreamt that Abaya's palace. See, Abai was wealthy. He already lived in a palace. Apanda means a palace. But I saw that his palace fell, and we learned in the last daf about dreaming about someone else. It is of meaning. And v'chasyon afke, and the dust of that implosion went on me. What does that mean? Amalei Abaya Shach. Abaya will pass away, will predecease you, and umesifte asya legabach, and the great yeshiva will be given over to you. Not to Abaya's children. Maybe Abaya had no sons. But you see, here you go. He gave it over to the Rava became the Rosh Yeshiva after Abaya. Amalei Chazoya Panda Dididinov. I saw my palace fell. And Vasakula Alman, everyone was coming. Shaka Levinta, and everyone was taking a brick. Amalei, so Barhedya tells Rava, he's getting paid now, that Shemaitzin Mevadron Ba'alma, that your teachings will be spread around the whole world. Everyone will take a brick of your learning. Amalei Chazoi, the Ifkar Reishi, I saw that my head split open in a dream. We're getting some gory dreams. Guys, dreams have no rachmanis. When something has to happen in a dream, there's no political correctness, it's mamish, it's violent, for good or bad. And it's for good. We say it's for good, so it's for good. Then I saw my mind splitting open, and I saw my brain falling out. So Amalei, that was good. He tells them, you know what that was? That udra mi beisad yonafik, that your pillow, the feathers fell out of your pillows. First of all, not only is that not bad, you can say, it's just not bad. Your brain spilling out means your pillow. Mastama, he had an alta pillow when he was poor. And he needed, you see, he was careful with his money. He would only buy a new pillow if the old pillow would finally deteriorate. So he told him, a good dream, your pillow finally went, and you'll get a new pillow. Amalei Akrin, I was read to me, halala mitzra bechelma, halala mitzra, just to know that even though when we speak about halal, we think about what we call halal. The real halal is called halal agadol. Halal agadol is the kilo olam chad, the 26 times kilo olam chazda, Shem Hashem. The halal, right, that we refer to as halal, the ones that we read during the Seder, is called by Chazal halela mitzra'ah. The halal that we said when we left Mitzeis Yisrael Mitzrayim. I heard halal. Amalei, but Hedya tells him, you know what that means? It means that nisa misrach shilach, that a miracle will happen to you. Now understand what that means. When someone tells you a miracle will happen to you, there's a dual meaning. It means that you'll be saved, but it also means that you're going to be in a setting where you will need a miracle, because God doesn't do a miracle for nothing. So interestingly, after Barhedya told the Rava that a miracle will happen to you, Havakazal Bahadei Ba'arba. Bahashgacha Pratis, Rava and Barhedya were on the same little ship. Think about a rowboat. When you think about ships in the times of Chazal, a little boat. Omar, so Barhedya tells himself, I don't want to be near a person that needs a miracle. There was always a danger on a ship that a ship will capsize. That's why the Mishnah says in Kedushin that a father who doesn't teach his children how to swim is murdering his children. So, but Hedya was the one, his words had the power. And now he knows that there's going to be, God forbid, the ship might turn over. So Rava is going to get saved. Who says I'm going to get saved? So therefore, Bahadei, so I'm leaving, I'm getting off the ship. And Bahadei the Kosalik and Barhedya rushed off the ship. Nafal Sifra Minei, a book fell out of his hand. And Rava now picked up a book of Barhedya. And Ashkechei Rava saw it. V'chazad ha'avakasav bei. In the book it says, Kol ha'chaloimois, hol chanach harapeh, that dreams follow their interpretation. Ooh, Amar, he says, Rasha, you wicked one. Bididach kaima. It was really up to you. Vitzartem kulahai, and you were so horrible to me. All of those dreams that you could have interpreted good, you interpreted bad. And then he went on to say that I forgive you for everything. Bar mi berati de Rab Chizda, aside of the daughter of Rab Chizda and her children. Means he didn't forgive him for the death of his wife and of his children. And then Rava says, Yehei Rava, that this man Barhedya should be given over to a king to a government that will have no mercy on him. So Bar Hedya now got a curse. So Amar Bar Hedya tells himself, my Eved, what should I do? Gimiri, I have a tradition. The kilalas chacham, that a curse that comes from a chacham, even if it's given bechinam, even if it's not justified, will come to fruition. And v'kol shchein rava, the bedina koloit, he's right in cursing me. So Bar Hedya, trying to save himself from that curse, Amar, he says, Eikom ve'eglei, I'll exile myself. The Amar Mar, the master taught us that Golus brings about atonement. We all know that. Even when you move a house, especially when you move a city, when you move a country, it's very humbling. So he stands up, he went to Rome. The Romans were not that kind. Also, he was sitting, or he rented a place near the Reish Toirzina, near the head of the treasurer, the one in charge of the treasury in Rome, the Malk. And now the Gemara says that Reish Toirzina Chazachal, this treasurer had a dream, and by then Bar Hedya was known as being a dream interpreter. That was his parnas. Amalei. So he tells his new neighbor Bar Hedya that Chazoi Chalma, I saw in my dream the oil machta be'etzba'asi, that a needle entered my finger. Amalei. So Bar Hedya tells him, Havli zuzah, give me a zuz, and I'll tell you what it means. However, v'lo he didn't give him a zuz. Now, did he give him a bad interpretation? No. Well, he learned that from Rava, but not to do, but he didn't say anything. Now understand something that we have been learning up until now, that a dream follows the interpretation. So we said, and if it won't be interpreted, it's like a letter that's not read. Here we're going to learn a different angle, that if you have a dream, it's going to happen. Not interpreting the dream is not good, because then it could happen in a negative way. You have to interpret the dream to make it happen in a good way. But here, his not saying was not good. Amalei, and another detail, that here again, this is a dream not about the future. We'll see this is a dream about the past. Maybe that's the difference. If it's a dream about the future, then if you don't interpret it, nothing. If it's a dream about the past, you're being notified about something. It's good to know that something. That's like we said about the letter. If you get a letter about something that's already happening, it's good to know. Not ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is you're hurting yourself. When you'll find out, it'll be too late. And Vaited, Amalei, another dream. I saw a worm going into two of my fingers. Amalei again, Havli Zuzah, give me a coin. But v'lo yavlei, so v'lo yavlei. Amalei, a third dream. I saw this worm set itself upon my entire hand. And here, even though he wasn't paid, Amalei, he tells him, listen, what's happening is, Nafal tichla b'kula shira. You, as the head treasurer, you were also in charge of overseeing the expensive silk garments of the Caesar. And worms began to eat up, or moths, or whatever the minig there was, which creature that God created has a koyach to ruin expensive clothing. And he was being notified in the dream, but since Bar Hedya didn't interpret it, now that he found out it was too late. Shama Bey Malka, when the king heard that his expensive clothing got ruined, Asuya Lideish Tarnisa, they took the person in charge, the buck stops with him, and Kokotlole, and they killed him. But as they're leading him to his death, Amar Lei, he says, Amar Lahu, or he tells the people that are killing him, Ano, am I? Me? You're killing me? I didn't know about it. Why don't you go get the person who Taka knew that was happening? He could have prevented it from getting worse. He is even more guilty. And he spilled the beans. He ratted out Bar Hedya. And I saw Bar Hedya and Amar Lei, and they told Bar Hedya, Amtu Zuzah Didach, because of you not getting a Zuz, Charvu, turning to Dafnun, Vav Amid Beis, Shiroi Dimalko. All of the sea garments of the king were ruined because he didn't pay you a zuz. It's not right. And what they did is they killed him. The Romans killed him, the way the Romans know how to kill people. What did they do? Kefisu Terein Arzei Bechavola. They took two palm trees, right, or two cedar trees that were near each other but not touching each other, and they used the rope to connect one with the other. In other words, they force trees to go out of their natural stanza, and asur chad kari lahai arza, and they tied one of his legs to one of these cedar trees. The chad kari lachad arza, and the other leg to the other cedar tree. And then all they did was they untied the trees. The sharu lachavala, and they untied the rope ad the itztalik reishi, until his head split, his whole body and his head split. Because each tree went back to its place. And his body and his brain fell into two parts. This is a very meaningful ending, but it's late. So I saw two of my jaws, that in my dream they fell out. Omar, he says, you know what that means? Two Roman battalions are plotting against you. They're speaking about you again around your back. But they died. So the jaws fell out. A good way. The negative jaws fell out. I saw in my dream, I saw that my nose fell off. What did we learn yesterday from the 3 Amoraim? A school of not to give an ayin hod on others or on yourself. Look at your left nostril. So maybe it's connected to this. Nose is connected to anger. Your nose falling off means there'll be no anger. There'll be no more anger on you. I saw my dream, both of my hands being cut off. No. That's a good thing. You won't need to work. Trust fund baby. I saw two of my legs being cut off. That's good. You'll be given a horse. You won't need your legs. I was told Ba'adar Mesas that I'll die in Adar, V'Nisan Lechazas, and therefore I won't see the month of Nisan. Adar doesn't mean the month of Adar. Ba'adrusa, when you will pass away in the future, you'll pass away in glory. And V'Loi Asis L'Deina Sayin, or because you won't be tested in this world, so you won't fail, so you'll pass away. Al Grace at Tzaddik. Amalei Tzeduki Rabbi Shmuel, starting with the first big daf and wide line. So this is a Tzeduki. And he tells the great Tana Rabbi Yishmael, Re'isi shani mashke shemen lezeisim. I saw a dream in which I was pouring oil back into the olives. What does that mean? Amalei ba'al imoy. You had a relation with your mother. So again, these are not dreams about the future. These are, like we mentioned in the last year, that we have in Mamori Chasidus, that a dream is when a person thinks about, or God forbid even does, unhealthy things, the neshama wants to vomit it out. So all of his very bad behavior was thrown out by him seeing these, the body was expelling these. So he had a relation with his mother, that's the pshat, he came from his mother, so the oil was, he saw it being poured into the olive. Amalei, I saw chazoy, the cut of likerchava, that I saw that I plucked a star out of the sky. Amalei, you know what that means? Body is sold after you kidnapped a Jew. Amalei chazoy, I saw that I swallowed that star. Amalei bar Yisrael zavante, that you not only kidnapped, but this is in violation of the 10 Commandments, and you sold that person, and v'achalta l'dmei, you ate up the money that you got for that sale. Amalei, I saw chazoy einai, I saw in my dream both of my eyes, that they were touching each other. Amalei, that means that you had a relation with your sister. Amalei chazoy denoshki sahar, I saw myself kissing the moon. Amalei ba'aleshes Yisrael, you had a relation with a married Jewish woman. Right? We are compared to the moon. Amalei chazoy didorichna betuna da'asa, I was walking on a path that was in the shadow of a myrtle, and when we would marry off our young daughters, the chuppah would be made out of myrtles. Amalei, you had a relation with a nara hamurasa. Amalei chazoy tunoi miloi, that I saw a shadow. I saw a shadow. The shadow was above me, and at the same time, the shadow was beneath me. So that dream. V'hu mitatoi. Amalei, that MERCAVA chafuch, that you had a relation. This relation was that she was on top, the opposite the way God wants. Amalei chazoy urva tohadri lepurei. I saw ravens flying around my bed. Amalei, that means ishta chazansa me'anoshim haber, that your wife was mezana with many men. He's deserving such a wife. Amalei chazoy yoyna dahadri lepurei. I saw many doves flying around my bed. Amalei, noshim harbi tamesa. You had relations with many women and not kosher. Amalei chazoy, I saw the naka today yoyna. I saw that I was holding on to 2 doves, but they're flying away. Amalei today nashi nesaft. You married 2 wives. How petartinun, and you let them go. No, you saw in a dream that you're holding on to them even though they're flying away. These contradictions. The pshat is that even though you divorced them, you didn't give them a get. So you let them go, but you didn't let them go. Amalei chazoy the kolifna be. I saw myself peeling eggs. Amalei, that means that shachvei kam mashlachas, you stripped corpses. He thought that he was being told that he was skinning. You see the fact that the Romans skinned Rabbi Akiva, they had this mishugas. right? So did the Nazis. So he told him that you were stripping, and he understood that he was being accused of taking skin off a corpse. So Amalei here, the Tzeduki protested. He says, you know what? Kulu isnabi. Everything you said is true. Bar me'ah. The last thing that you said, the leisei. So as he's protesting, a woman walks in there, and she sees this Tzeduki talking to Rabbi Yishmael, and she recognizes the clothing that he's wearing. And she tells this Tzeduki, Hai geliman de machasa, that garment that you're wearing, the gavra poloinihu, the mis, I know who it belonged to. So and so passed away, and va'ash lechate, or va'ashlachte, and you took it off a corpse. What do you call these people that they steal? Right, robbing the grave. He was a grave robber on top of all his other avedas. So that's the pshat, that he saw him peeling eggs, that he stole something off a corpse. Amalei Chazoy, I saw the Amrili Shavak lo chavuch nichsei bekapoitkia. It's amazing how he's a Rasha, but still he's giving him the right interpretations. These dreams, all of these dreams you'll see is about the past. He's telling him that I saw that my father left for me a treasure. He left me in a chasim in Kapoitki is the name of a location. So Amalei, so Rabbi Shmuel is asking this person, Islach nachasi bekapoitki? Is it shaykh? Did your father have any business over there? Amalei lav. Amalei avuch lekapoitki? Did your father ever go there? Amalei lav. The word kapoitki is a composite from two words. The word kapa means in Aramish kishurabim. The word dakia, deka means 10. You know what that means? It means that in your home, you have, the walls were built of beams. We think about beams that are laying vertical. There was a place in his house that the beams were laying horizontal. He says, count up to the 10th beam. Zil chazi kappa. The Reisha Sara, look at the beam that's on the top of a row of 10, and that beam, that's your dream, is filled with money. Shimalei Zuzah and Azal Ashkach Shehi Malei Zuzah. So here you have dreams that are about what happened because his father left the money there and he was being notified. And here Rabbi Yishmael was properly interpreting the dream. Amar Rabbi Chanina. If you see a well in your dream, you should know that you are seeing peace. As it says, that they were digging out over there. Rav Nassan Amar, if you see a well in your dream, it means you're going to find Torah. As it says, finding me, you find life. And it says over here, and this moitzi, how do we find God? By learning Torah. Rava says, if you see a well in your dream, it means that you're being granted life, pashat life. Amar Rab Chanan, Shaloi Shloim are saying there are three symbols of peace in one's dream. Nahar, the river, Tzipar, a bird, and Ukedera, and a kettle. Right? That's the book. Nahar, D'chsev, Hineni Noitin Alel, Kenar Shalom. Tzipar, D'chsev, Chaver, we have to fly, Kitziparim Afais, like birds that fly, Ken Yogan Hashem Tzavakais, to protect Yerushalayim. And protection of Yerushalayim is all connected to Shalom, to peace. Kedera, D'chsev, Hashem, Tishpais Shalom Lanu. Hashem will set peace for us. And Tishpais is also Milashain, a pot that pours, a kettle. Amar Rabbi Chanina, when is a kettle a symbol of peace in a dream? That is you see, you have to get the whole flow of the Gemara here because we learned a lot in the last daf, and this daf, it goes after your interpretation. Yes and no. It has to be connected. These symbols symbolize peace. And speak it out. Says, how do I know that? Because it says in a pasuk that uparsu ka'asher basir uchabaser b'toich kolachas. This is a very bad pasuk speaking about how the wealthy people had no rachmanas on the poor people in the days of old in Yerushalayim, and they treated them the way you treat meat in a pot. They get cooked, they get cut. You know what's meat in a pot is a symbol of people acting not good towards your fellow. The symbol of peace is when it's just a water in a kettle. If you see a nahar, if you see a river in your dream, you yourself should interpret the dream. Now, the best dream interpretation is if there is a pasuk associated to that which you saw. And we're going to be learning over here that many symbols in a dream that have opposite meanings in psukim. So you say the pasuk that's positive. Yashkim v'yomer hideni noita eleha. Again, this is what Hashem will extend to Yerushalayim. Kinohar shalom. Say that koidim sheyikanenu pasuk acher. And the not positive pasuk is kiyove kinohar tsar. Another, if you see a bird in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer kitzipar office can yogin like we learned before. Koidem sheikadnen pasuk acher kitzipar nidadas minakol, like a bird that wanders away from its nest. Negative pasuk. Horoya kedera b'chaloim Yashkem v'yomer Hashem tishpois shalom lanu. Koidem sheikadnen pasuk acher, like we just quoted the pasuk with the meat. That's shvois hasir shvois. Okay. Horoya another b'chaloim. If you see grapes in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer ka'an novim b'midbar. That's the biggest blessing. Imagine, that's today Yehuda. In the desert, we figured out how to grow grapes. Koidem sheyakamenu pasuk acher an noivei moi invei roish. That the grapes are the grapes of Gaul. Haroya harachaloim Yashkem v'yomer monou al haharim. How pleasant will be the feet of Mashiach on the mountains, the feet of the one that will notify us. Raglim Evaser, Mashiach, Elyahu Navi. Koidem sheyakamenu pasuk acher that al haharim esa bechi v'nei. Haroya shefer b'chaloim Yashkem v'yomer v'hoyim yitak about shefer gadol. Koidem sheyakdi menu pasuk acher tiku shofar in Giva, and that was a sounding of warning. Haroya kelav b'chaloim. If you see a dog in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer l'chol b'nei Yisrael lo yachratz kelav l'shoinei. Koidem sheyakamenu pasuk acher that the hakalovim they are azei nefesh. Chutzpah, greedy. Haroya ari b'chalom. If you see a line in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer ari yeshog milo yira, referring to God, and that's the proper yira soraymemus. Koidem sheyakmenu pasuk acher that Aliyah ari misubachai. This is when Nebuchadnezzar came to attack Yerushalayim, that the lion left its den for negative. Haroya tiglachas b'chalom. If you see someone getting shaved in a dream, Yashkem v'yomer vayigalach. Some loisav, that was the last thing that was done to Yosef HaTzadik before he went minakotza, right? Mibira mikla leigra rama. Koidem sheyaktimenu pasuk acher im gulachti. This is what Shimshon said, that if I will be shaven, v'sor mimeni koichi. So shaving is a symbol of losing my koich. Horoya be'er b'chaloim. If a person sees a well in his dream, Yashkem v'yomer be'er ma'im chayim. Koidem sheyaktimenu pasuk acher that kehokir bayir meimah, like a well, right, issues forth water. Negative, that evil will come from Yerushalayim. Horoya kana b'chalom. If you see a reed in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer, you should say that kana ratzutz lo yishbar. Mashiach is going to be so gentle that he won't even hurt a bruised weed. Koidim sheyaktimenu pasuk acher that hine batachta. This is God reprimanding Chizkiyahu HaMelech for making an alliance with the Egyptians, that you relied and you made a broken reed as your mishenes. It was a criticism. If you see a reed in your dream, await for you to be granted wisdom. Shenemar, as it says, Knei Chachma. Now, Knei Chachma, the pshat is acquire wisdom. Kaneh is a representation of Chachma. Kanim, if you dream plural, reads, Yetzapa lebina. Shenemar, ubechol kinyonecha kinei bina. Again, kana bina, in plural. Amar Abzeiram. If you dream about a kara, a gourd, koira, the heart of palm, kira, wax, kanya, reed. It's about these letters. Even though when they're put together with different vowels, they have different meanings. But kuf, nun, either an aleph, all with an aleph. Interesting. And interesting that kana before was with the hey. But kula ma'alu l'chalma, they're all good symbols in your dream. Tanya, we learned, ein marin deluyin, a person will only be shown deluyim, gourds or pumpkins, someone who has a yirei shamayim with all of his might. Rashi says, because deluyin is a composite of the words dalu einai lamarim, people that are lifting their eyes up to the heavens. If you see an ox in your dream, Yashkem v'yomer, you should say the pasuk b'choir shoyroi hadar loi koidim sheyikadmenu pasuk acher. We just had this in the Parshas Mishpatim. Ki yigach shoyres ish. Oxes, Tanach Rabbanan, chamisha dvarim nemru b'shor. 5 things about seeing an ox in your dream. Ha'oichel nipsari, if you dream you eating meat of an ox, that's a simin misasher, you'll become wealthy. It's good meat. Negachai, if you see yourself getting gored by your ox, It's a good thing. Hav yinlei banim, you'll have children shemenakchim batoiram, that will be so learned that they will be goring each other when they learn in a positive way. Nashchai, if you have a dream of being bitten by an ox, that's a siman yisurim by malav. Ba'ato, if you're being kicked by a ox, it means that God is planning for you to make a long journey. You're being kicked on the journey. Rechava, if you see yourself riding an ox, that means you're being ascended. Great things are coming. You'll be given a position of gedula. We learned in another baraisa that if you dream rechavai of ox riding, it's a sign that the person, God forbid, mace. And if you dream of you riding on the ox, you're oil ligdula. And you know when it's a symbol of death? When if the ox is riding on you. No kidding. If you see a donkey in your dream, yitzapa to salvation. That's a symbol of a donkey. As it says, about Mashiach tzaddik, then noishahu, he'll be victorious. And who will he be? He'll be an ani that's riding on his chamoir, on the chumriyasdikait of the world. If you dream about a cat, so I guess. Now you know there's the way the Russians pronounce shunra, and the way and then you have the Russian Lithuanian Yiddish, and then you have the Ungarische Yiddish. How do you pronounce shunra? Either shunra or shinra. Shinra. So here if you pronounce it shunra, that's good. In that place, if that's the way you pronounce it, it means you're being notified that they're going to sing to you nasis loy shirana. A good song is being made for you. Shunra. In a place where people pronounce shinra, shinoira. If you dream about grapes, so it depends. If it's white grapes, then bein bismanim, whether it's season, whether it's not in the season, that's a good sign. Shchayrois, if it's dark, red grapes, black grapes, bismanim yafis. If it's during the season, it's a good sign. Shalei bismanim rois. Horoyasus. If you dream about a horse, it depends again. If it's a white horse, bein benachas, whether you dreamt of it walking nice and gently, bein beradoif, or if it's galloping, running, it's always a good sign. Adaim, if you see a red horse, if you dream about a red horse, depends. Benachas, yafe, beraduf, kashem. Haroya yishmal b'chalim. If you see Yishmal in your dream, how would you know? You would know Yishmal. That means tefillah nishmas, that God is going to hear your prayer. That's the meaning of Yishmael. But dafke Yishmael ben Avram. It means if you see actually Yishmael, but if you see stam an Arab, avol tayu ba'alma, and you can call the Arabs Yishmaelim, no, that's not a good sign. If you see a camel in your dream, you know what that means? Misa niknes aloim and hashemayim. God forbid. However, what does the camel represent? That even though there was a decree for death, but v'hitziluhu mimenu, you were saved. How do we see this on the pasuk? It says, "V'anoichi eredimcha mitzrayim, v'anoichi alcha gam aloi." Rashi says, "Gam aloi gimel mem and lamed gamal." Notice we were decreed to go into Galus, but God is saving us from the Galus. Rav Nachman ben Yitzchak Omer, another pasuk, Gam. These are the letters gimel mem. Gam Hashem hever chatascha, that God is going to commute your sin. Loi samus, you won't die. So take the word gam and loi gamal gamla. That's the pasuk. Let's hop another few lines. If you see Pinchas in your dream again, how do you know? When you'll see him, you know it's him. Pele nasaloi. Right, the Gemara tells us the 6 miracles or the 10 miracles that happened to Pinchas, a wonder is about to happen to you. If you dream with an elephant, pila ois, in the wonders will be done to you. There's Pilois is wonder. Pilim, if you dream not with one elephant, if you dream with plural, then pilei pilois nasaloi. Dreaming about all types of non-domesticated animals is a good sign in a dream. A sight of 2 animals, chutz min apil, a sight of dreaming about an elephant or a monkey. They're bats, they're not good. Answers the Gemara like kasha dafnun zayin ha de misarig. If the elephant is saddled, that's a good sign. Ha de loy misarig. But if it's not saddled, then it's the opposite, to be continued.